nice having you, sir.
You're welcome.
And nice doing this interview with you. It's a privilege, I must say.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, sir, we would like to know you, first of all.
Well, I'm Dr. Adelere Abayomi, a medical director of Adelere Medical Clinic, a family clinic in Ugep.
So, sir, I'll be asking you some questions now, and whichever one you can answer, we appreciate.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, we first started the Adelere Family Hospital in Ibadan, your state, 2019. Because then I already concluded on leaving Cross River State to go back home. I've been here since 2012 due to some circumstances. But due to the love that the people of the town have for me and the request for me to stay back, so we have to have a branch of the Adelere Family Hospital here. But the fact that, I can't be in two places at the same time because I'm not God. And it's actually risky for you to be running an annex of a hospital, in the sense that in case something happens, it affects both of them at the same time. And my people in Cross River now, you would love to be distinct and unique. So everybody was like, no, we don't want to be branch of anybody. Give us our own clinic or hospital. We know that this one is our own. So that's why I have to now click. Let's now have Adelere Family Clinic. Initially, we were looking at Adelere Family Clinic. But by the time we started doing the name search on CAC, I discovered that we've actually made the mistake of entering the name before while registering the hospital. And we have to abandon the clinic later and go for the hospital because of the fact that in the future, we have to create room for expansion. And as a clinic, there is still a limit to what you can do, but the hospital can do a lot. So we have already registered our name, it has already been accepted. So by the time we now wanted to have Adelere Family Clinic for Cross River State, it didn't fly. So we now have to adjust it to Adelere Family Clinic, and that one was accepted. So that's the reason why we now have the two names. So both of them are not branches of each other now. They are two distinct stuff. And then talking of the family brand, there are two ways to that. Firstly, being a family physician. So I wanted that to reflect in the name so that at least people know what we are all about. Then secondly, I want I will not say patients, my clients, people who access our services, to know that they are not just coming in as an outsider to get treatment and go home. They are actually part of a family. And every worker should know that it's a family practice, that they also belong. That's the reason why it's not just about you. Come, do your work and hand your pay and go home. I make them to feel as member of the family. We are interested in their personal lives, what they are passing through, trying to see how they can have personal growth, and actually monitoring each and every one of them to make sure that they are successful. Because that's the only way you can be sure that each and every one of them is happy to come to work and to interact with the patients. There have been quite a lot of challenges. We just thank God for his help and for the success so far. First of all, talking of, government, should I call it administrative logjam, it can be a real problem because you apply for registration. CAC registration is the simplest part, very straightforward. But when you get to the government, registering with the state government, oh boy, you have to go through a lot of knowing people, going after the initial application, follow up and all that. It takes a lot of time and a lot of stress, to be honest with you. And then the issue of multiple taxation. For somebody who does not have the heart, it's very difficult to run business in Nigeria right now. from federal to state, especially state, local governments. And if you don't have that strong business base, as in number of customers or patients that comes around, it might be difficult for you to keep afloat. Then the issue of unfair competition is another thing. And I'm not talking of maybe fellow medical doctors, I'm talking of quacks, chemists, and all these other people. When they realize that you are doing well, they go to town with bad stories, most of which are actually unreal anyway. And there may be some adverse patient outcome that may be or may not even be your fault. They go out and blow it out of proportion just to try and see how they can knock you down. And if you are not very strong mentally, it can affect you seriously. And it can also create a negative image of who you are, what you do, what your practice is all about in the eye of the people out there. But I thank God that God has blessed us with goodwill in society. Sometimes when they even try to do all these things, it ends up as, what can I call it, a kind of free advertisement, which they didn't plan for. So that one is another issue there. Then another challenge that I can say we face again is a lack of qualified personnel in rural environment like this. What I mean is that, like when was working in the city in the West, you always have all these copper doctors or young doctors in general hospitals that can come and ease the pressure on you. We call them locum doctors. They come, you pay them on per hour basis. And that gives you more time to do some other things. But here, we don't have enough of our young colleagues here. And as you can see, most doctors in town are already advancing in age. So God is the one that is helping us. The volume of the work sometimes can be much. And yes. Well, Adelere Family Hospital in Ibadan.
Okay.
And Ade Family Clinic in Ugep, Cross River State. What you can call a family-friendly medical facilities, whereby everybody is somebody. A place whereby when you walk in, you can feel free. In fact, right from when you come in to the reception, you know fully well that you are encountering friendly people. Anybody who is not friendly cannot work with me. Because like I said, I want the patient to feel, because somebody who's coming to the hospital is already stressed. Some of them, to get the little money that they are bringing to the hospital was not easy for them. And they have this anxiety. We don't know what the doctor could talk. Say, what to do me? And then, in case they tell me what to do me, will I be able to afford the treatment? So the anxiety is already there. And now somebody is coming in and is meeting a very fierce looking, angry looking nurse or reception. There is really going to be a problem. So it's a friendly place where we have mutual trust between the patient and the hospital staff. Because definitely when somebody is coming in to see us, you should know that we have your best interest at heart. I get what I'm saying? We will give you the best available treatments that we have at a friendly cost to your pocket. And you should know that no matter what we do or what we say, the number one interest is the patient. Because the concept of medical practice now that I have chosen is patient-friendly practice. The patient is the center of it. Because without the patient, the hospital is just another. In fact, it can be a shop. It can be a barbing salon. Yeah. What makes it unique is the patient. If the patient doesn't come again, there's nothing we are doing inside. So they are the center.
Healthcare delivery.
That's a very beautiful, nice one. Number one is we try, like I said, to be available for the staffs to make sure they are well motivated. And in terms of their remuneration, even though we are not very rich like that, we try to do our best to make sure that at least based on the local environment where we are operating, what they take home is not too bad. Are you getting what I'm saying? And we make sure they get it on time. As a matter of fact, we pay before the end of the month so that everybody will be able to help themselves. And I encourage them to improve on their knowledge and skill. You understand? Like, for example, now we do have online courses available once in a while. By grace of God, I register myself for them. I even sponsor my lab scientists. Like the copper doctor we had last time, we sponsor him as well for ultrasound training, which has really helped us in the practice. Some of my nurses are currently in the school of nursing, you understand, in order to be able to upgrade themselves. Then talking of the patient, we encourage feedback. Like, for example, if you are not happy with the way you are treated, or maybe you have an expectation that was not met, the phone number is there. You know, you can call or send text message to inform us about what happened. And once there is a complaint, we will definitely look into it. Not only so that we can solve that particular problem and make sure you are okay, but also to make sure it doesn't repeat itself again. So those mechanisms are on ground to ensure high quality service. Well, one thing is for sure, growth is inevitable if you still want to survive of any organization. And that is why we are always looking at the next available area where we can progress. In the next 10 years, at least by that time, all my nurses who are currently in the school of nursing would have graduated, right? So instead of a situation whereby I have a few registered nurses, while the rest are that's community extension worker. By that time, all of them would have become registered nurses. That's one beautiful one. And we hope to actually be able to attract a young doctor that will be resident doctor, you understand? So that we'll be able to reduce the pressure on us. We are actually actively working on electronic medical record system, EMR. The problem we've been having before was the issue of regular energy. But now that we have solar system, we are working towards that in the next 1 year, so that at least our record system will be electronic instead of being paper-based. And we are also working towards having our own permanent site in Ugep, just like it is in Ibadan, so that the money that go into rentage per year can also go into getting more instruments and equipment that will make work easier for us. And definitely, God willing, it will not be a bad idea to have our own X-ray machine. Is that not so?
That's so.
Yes, because like, for example, when you have all these road traffic accidents, trauma cases, having to send them outside to go and do X-ray and come back, sometimes it's stressful for some of them. So we actually hope to have our own, so that with a radiographer, so that they won't need to be stressing themselves up and down again. That way we have a one-stop shop, whereby anybody that comes in, everything is sorted out before you turn back and go home, except you are going for reference.
So shifting to your personal life, sir, I want to ask, what does a day in the life of a doctor looks like for you?
Well, a doctor's life, like everybody know, is not just as a professional worker. We are actually philanthropists as well, in the sense that no patient can expect to pay us what we are worth in this country. That's why you see many of our colleagues have already jackpot outside the country. You know what I mean by that?
Yes.
Yes, they've run out of the country because we only have resumption time, we don't have closing time. And sometimes the resumption time is not guaranteed. They can call you at any time for an emergency. And no matter how hard you have been working since morning, every single case you see, you are expected to offer the best, the highest quality service. Once there is a problem there, it affects the way people perceive you, and God help you. If you now end up with a malpractice, or maybe there is a case that can actually be proven to be negligence, then it becomes a legal case. Is that not so?
Yes.
And somebody, so it is not easy being a medical doctor, to be honest with you. And that's why if you ask most doctors, they will let you know. Despite the fact that we are doing our best to save the life of other people, our own lifespan is one of the shortest among professionals. Most of the time due to overwork. And a doctor is like a dustbin. Everybody comes and dump their problems, both the physical and the emotional ones. And after some time, these things have a negative impact on our own mental health. I hope you know that. Some doctors are depressed. Some doctors are on drugs for hypertension, diabetes, and all that. All these degenerative illnesses because of the way we have overused ourselves. So it is not being a doctor, and that's why anybody who come across a doctor that is still practicing in Nigeria should show some appreciation, because not as if we don't have the choice of leaving the country. How many times? I have many friends over there, even till now, that are still telling me that with the kind of skill sets you are very marketable abroad. You come now, even if it's just to work for like 10, 20 years, you make your money and come back and settle down. But I said, well, within the next 10 or 20 years I will spend over there, how many people would have died? How many? Because I know how many lives we save on a weekly basis. So that's what the life of a doctor is like. We don't have any steady time like that. They can call you at any time, and each case that you do require the best possible concentration from you and application. And for those where things did not turn out the way we expected, sometimes they leave strong and lasting impact on us. You understand? Some people used to think that when a doctor loses a patient, that they don't care. They are just doing their job. That's a lie from the pit of hell. For any doctor who have conscience, a patient that was in trouble and they brought the patient from a far village, sometimes villages that you have never heard of, talk less of visiting, and they still manage to trace you down, and you ask them to do this, they did everything, ask them to pay this, the whatever they have, they paid it, and you did your best, and despite that, you have to pronounce the patient dead. And you think I will enter my car and drive home and I didn't feel anything. I get what I'm saying? Or a baby that was brought in, a child that the patient have dreams and aspiration for. They are expecting the child to grow up and take care of them in their old age. And the child became sick, and you did this and you did that, and before you say Jack Robinson, bam, the child is gone, and they are screaming and shouting, crying. And they went away, and the doctor will not feel anything. No, we are not like that. We were not trained that way, and we don't behave that way. Doctors too have families. You understand? Every pain the patient feels, we feel it too. And those are some of the challenges involved in the profession. We feel pains too. And when people now blame you for something that is not even your fault, that is the worst. Thank you. Let me stop there. I have quite a number of them. Let me just share about 3 or so. There is this patient of mine who is late now. We call him Old Boy. I don't know whether you have heard of him before.
Yes.
He was an elderly man that had prostate illness, prostate enlargement, and he wanted surgery. So, of course, as usual, I referred him to Calabar to go and see urologist. But he said no, he doesn't have the money, and that he has confidence that if I do it for him, we'll be okay. Definitely, I know how to do prostatectomy, but I don't like doing it because I'm not a urologist, and that one is a core specialist procedure. So in case something goes wrong, somebody will not go and sue me or something. But this man had so much confidence and he insisted with the children. So we went in and we did the surgery successfully. And from that, he became a friend of mine. As in, he comes to my house, I go to his house, his wife, children, and we were able to manage him, malaria, typhoid, all those things, till the day he gave his life. And he finally gave up the ghost and went to be with his master. And during the time of the burial, the children still invited us to come for the burial. That was a sweet story. From beginning to the end, I never had any issue with them. Then we have a room in the hospital, actually the isolation room, that my staff has named Monday Ward. You remember the case?
Yes.
Because it was a very unique story. Here is an orphan, no father, no mother. It's the brothers who are actually cousins and neighbors that were taking care of him. And he ended up with typhoid perforation, a life-threatening condition. We are supposed to refer to teaching hospital for the general surgeons to do the surgery, but we know fully well that they can't afford the investigation there alone, purpose of the procedure. And lo and behold, his blood group was O negative, very rare blood. But these people insisted that we should save the life of Monday. So we went inside, we got the blood, did the surgery. It was initially getting better. Suddenly, it developed what we call fecal fistula, where shit was coming from the abdomen. Let us refer you so that they can manage this one. They say, no, we are not going anywhere. He either recover here or die here. We don't have the money. And we kept treating this boy until he recovered and he went home alive. Later coming back with his relatives to come and appreciate us. They brought yam and plantains. That's what they have to appreciate us. It was very beautiful, encouraging, and refreshing experience. In fact, he left such a lasting impression on the nurses. At the end of the day, we all decided to name the room Monday Ward. And of course, the third one I want to share, I've forgotten the name of that young lady that was brought in with obstructed labor from one of the far villages in the Cross River State. They promised us that no problem, we will pay your money. Just save the life of this girl and the baby. Okay. The mama did not bring shishi or kobo. She said money is coming. I have 2 people to help me sell my gari. We went to the theater, we saved the life of the baby and the mother. By the second day, Mama, people have not paid anything. No. We need to buy drugs and drips. Say, I don't worry, my son. Money is coming. On the third day, I say, Mama, I beg you. I need money to buy me. Say, let me not lie to you. As you see me here, she come, I don't get. What about the husband? Say, which husband? She just carried the belly. We don't know who give her belly. I don't enter one chance. We can't have this. But I trusted you. Say, my son, people are still looking for money. You have helped me. I know I cannot be ungrateful to you. Just give me time. We will pay your money. And they started running around. Today they will come with 20,000. Next tomorrow, 10,000. And they were just dropping it like that. And to the glory of God, the patient recovered well. The child did well. By the time they paid to, I can't even remember. Their money remained like 50,000. So we have to say, Mama, you and your people don't try. I dash you the rest. You can go. She cried, though. She said, oh, God will help you. That was the day I discovered that that lady was actually Mama's only child. And her husband was late. That was the only family she has. She said that picking way you see so, and the picking way in born. Now then go pour sand on top of my head when I die. If you did not help me now, that means I would have been left alone in this world. It was a very touching story. And I thank God all the 3 of them went to my life. So those are the 3 that easily come to mind. There are plenty other ones, but those 3 are just spectacular. Well, you just have to know how to play different roles and be able to separate them from each other. Like for example, I'm at home now. I'm a husband and a father now. When anything medical, whatever now, unless, as in, how do I put it, anything that we were not able to handle, I don't carry them to the house. Because if you are not careful, sometimes you can have transfer of aggression. So when I'm at work, I focus on my work. I'm a doctor full time. I give everybody the best I can give. The one that's beyond my power, I refer you to teaching hospital or general hospital. Once I enter my car and I'm driving back home, you understand, that garment of doctor, I've hung it in my office. I'm already shifting my mind to the mind of husband and father, community leader, neighbor, and so on and so forth. And then when it comes to pastoral aspect, that's the church. Although pastoral aspect, I will say that one sometimes overlap with doctor work, because sometimes some of your church members are having health challenges. After you pray for them, you still have to see whether it's something that needs medical attention, so that you will not just be using faith when somebody also needs attention. You know how to separate it. And although that one, pastor, that one encompasses everything. Even affects your behavior as a father, as a husband and all. But the beauty of it is just that the ministry aspect has been beneficial to both the personal and the professional life. Because when you have the fear of God, and God is able to gift you with wisdom, it guides the way you relate with people, how you behave, even when nobody is seeing you. And that eventually end up having positive impact on what you do. The best inspiration for me is the Lord Jesus Christ himself. Because Jesus is called the great physician. So as a doctor, when they wrote this stuff, I asked myself, what will Jesus do? In this case, here is a patient that is proving stubborn and is threatening to burn down the clinic, is going to sue everybody and all that. You ask yourself, is there any image in the life of Jesus that I can use here? Community engagement.
Yes. And your brand, sir.
It's everything. It's everything. Number one, the facility, the practice is located within the community. The patients that feed the practice are coming from within the community. In case of maybe confrontation with either with difficult patients, or maybe adverse results and all that, the first line of defense before you start talking or running to the police station is the community, especially the youths. And even the adults, the leaders, sometimes they need to come in to help you to talk to some people. So community is everything for a family practice. And that's the reason why, by the grace of God, as I am, at least I call myself a chief in Ugep today. And also there is also a community called the Simiri community in Ebonyi State, who also gave us a chieftaincy title. So I am a community person. For me, community is everything. I can't exist in isolation. The patients themselves are from the community. The workers working for me are from the community. So it's everything. Everything.
So we can call you Paul Doctor.
You want to try? You want to try? Young people, everybody should aspire to do something in life, because you are not responsible for where you were born, by who you were born, or circumstances by which you were born. But everything from that point onward depends on you. Number one, you have to be true to yourself. I keep telling my young friends something, that you people will say government is not helping you with employment, there is no opportunity, and yet Somebody will go into addiction, will go into cultism. You are not helping yourself. No matter what background you come from, there is one gift God has given to everybody, and that is clear mind and human brain. That is the equipment, the instrument that you will use to be able to achieve everything you want to achieve. By the time you now start attacking that brain with drugs, with violence, and violent way of thinking, and all that negative way of thinking, you are ruining yourself. So you have to take care of your mind. Read books. This generation that we are in now only press phone. They don't read books. And when they are pressing the phone, they are not reading articles or reading material. They're just socializing and catching up with news. I have never seen anybody who become a millionaire by reading news, playing games, watching news. No. People become rich, people become wealthy, people change their stories by studying to improve themselves. So going to school and sorting yourself out just to be able to quickly get out. If you quickly get out of school, by the time you come out, the society is waiting for you. They will ask you questions. If you can't answer that questions correctly, you are a failure. But if you go to school and you really study to learn, to know, by the time you come out and they ask you questions, maybe by the time they come to you to bring work for you to do, they bring problem for you to solve, and you are able to solve it correctly, you do the work correctly, they will pay you. And by the time they pay you, that's where you are going to get your wealth. So youths have to learn, number one, to maintain their mind and not destroy it, and not to destroy their brain with drugs and riotous living. And also they have to maintain their focus in whatever vocation or work that they have chosen to do. So that's my advice basically. If they can do those two things, everybody is supposed to be successful. Startup businesses in Nigeria, as you are starting, you have to be ready to suffer initially before you begin to enjoy. That's the truth. Because majority of businesses that start in Nigeria end up failing. Because number one, most people don't have a very good business plan before they start. They just see somebody who started the shop downstream and is doing very well. And at least that guy in the street is my neighbor now. If you can make it, means if I can make it, you jump out. No, you have to do your research in the work that you want to do. How do they supposed to do this thing? Okay, then in this environment, how will I package it that it will be relevant to the people and they'll be ready to accept me? That's the question, number one. Then number two, do I have the resources to start? If the answer is no, where can I get it without killing myself? For example, some people want to start small businesses, hairdressing salon especially, and all that, or eatery. You go and collect money from cooperative or LAPO, where the interest is as high as maybe 20-25%. For crying out loud, how much profit do you think you are going to be making at the initial stage? At the initial stage, you are not focusing on profit, you are focusing on getting your client base. But the interest is mounting on the load you collected. At the end of the day, you run out of town. So those are the advice I will give. You have to do your research to start with. You have to know what you want, know whether you have it. If you have it, then resources to start. Sometimes you can get soft loans from family and friends. Then you don't have to start big, start small. You see somebody want to start a dry cleaning business, is having a budget of 3 million. Are you being serious? In this economy, who is going to give you that? And if you go and take money on loan with the interest, you know you are working for the loan company or the loan shark. Start small and then you grow gradually. As more money comes in, you don't go and start using it to be buying expensive phones. Go and be changing cars. You invest the money back into the practice until it grows to where you are going. And when you get there, that is when you can actually think of reaping harvest and getting reward for yourself. Yes. That's how you have to be ready to suffer at the initial stage. Then when things get to where you are going, you can start enjoying. As far as I consider myself right now, I'm still growing. Somebody can say your colleagues are already doing this, some of your colleagues are already doing that. Congratulations to them. You don't know where they started from, but I have not reached where I'm going. Yes, some people say some people try to take vacation outside. As you see me, so I never traveled outside Nigeria before. Not because I've never had the money to do that, but there are other conflicting interests that need my attention at this point in time. That for me to be going to UK and going to US to go and see my classmates and my friends there, and so that I can do what? Eat rice and chicken, which I can't eat in Nigeria. When my practice still needs some inputs here and there, I'm still trying to build a foundation for my family. There is time for everything under the heavens. When you have done your homework and you have done the basic things you are supposed to do and everything is set, of course by that time, even if you are not around for months, the system can run itself. When you have staff that are well trained, that can operate without you being around, if they need your attention, it's just for them to communicate with you. You tell them what to do or who to call, and they go ahead and do what they are supposed to do. You have more time for yourself to rest and to do some other things. But in a situation where you are just starting and you are spending so much time with social engagement, you are all over the place. Anyone that comes in is going into feeding your fantasies. That kind of establishment is not going to last too long.